Hello, my name is Douglas Collins, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about an important piece of our history, the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, and mainly the Memphis Belle, which was the first plane to complete 25 missions during World War II. Well, I'm going to give you the background on the B-17, we'll give you the description of it, and the significance of what these guys did by flying 25 missions. Well, on the background of the B-17 was our main bomber we used during World War II. We got more bombs with that bomber than any other one that we had in service at the time. The bomber was very, very tough and could fly pretty much without any engines at all and land. They did, however, have a lot of problems on the European front. They were losing 80% of their aircraft in the first 3 months. This made the generals of the time come together and say, well, if we're losing this many aircraft, we need to give these guys some kind of incentive to keep going, to keep flying missions and to keep fighting for us. And they did. They came up with the 25 missions. 25 missions. If you completed 25 missions, your active duty service commitment was over. You can go back home to your family, and you didn't have to stay in any longer. As you know, most of the guys in World War II were drafted. It's not like the volunteer force that we have nowadays. There were several positions on the B-17. There was the tail gunner's position, the roof turret gunner's position, the ball turret gunner, the bombardier, the nose gunner, the pilot, and the navigator. All these positions worked together to accomplish the missions that they had. Mainly, we'll focus on the gunner positions because they defended against all the Japanese Zeros and the German Focke-Wulfs. And I want to focus on it because I do know my wife's grandfather was a tail gunner on the B-17 during the Japanese front. These guys were really war-hardened veterans, but there were many losses. Like I said, 80% of the guys didn't make it back during the first 3 months of the German front. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the final 2 missions that the Memphis Belle flew. The first one was in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. It was a daytime flight, and this was to a submarine base. As you know, the U-boats that the Germans had were doing heavy numbers on our Navy, and we had to go in and take them out. We knew flying during the day was really hard on our guys, but we had to do it. It was the only way we could see what we were hitting. We sent the guys over there, and they ended up making it back. They didn't think the Memphis Belle was going to come back on its 24th mission. Well, after that, they flew another mission in Lorient, France. This was also to a submarine factory. The guys actually made it back from there as well, and that was their final mission that they had to fly. All this information came from www.memphisbelle.com /Belle story, Belle-story. The final 2 missions had a great impact on our winning role in World War II. Like I said, that bomber dropped more bombs than any other bomber we had, and it was flying more missions. So the culmination of the 25 missions that the Memphis Belle flew and the incentive that was given to the rest of the crews made it easier for the guys to go out and fly the missions. It was not an easy job at all, but it took some of the burden off of them. They knew they could get there. This bolstered morale all through the front, and these guys were willing to go out there and drop the bombs on the targets that they needed to drop it on. This shaped our Air Force today. Our Air Force today is rich with heritage. We know where we came from. We know the history behind where we're at right now and why we have air superiority. This air superiority came through crews like the Memphis Belle that were willing to go out there, fly their 25 missions, and prove to the rest of the guys in the European front that they could be done. This like I said, we're the strongest Air Force in the world. And if it wasn't for crews like the Memphis Belle or the B-17 itself, we wouldn't be able to boast that we have air superiority. Well, in closing, hope I've enlightened you on the significance of America's air power during World War II. Delighted due to the significance of the Memphis Belle, the B-17 that flew 25 missions before any other plane. And I hope you're able to go away with a little bit more respect for our history as a nation. Thank you.